Hi, this is Celeste. I'm a nationally certified interventionist, family coach, and recovery coach. I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about how going to treatment can be the scariest decision that you'll ever make. And I think it's so scary for so many people because struggling in addiction becomes a way of life, and it becomes our one final coping mechanism for how we escape and how we cope with our problems. And it almost becomes, it gets to a point where there's so many negative consequences from addiction that, and it's a catch-22 because it's the only coping mechanism we know, and it's the only coping mechanism that we know to go to. So to completely abandon our only way of coping with the world can be super scary. So I just want to acknowledge that for a lot of people. Like I get that it's the scariest thing that you'll ever do, the scariest decision you'll ever make. And I know for myself, I can speak from personal experience. When I decided to leave my addiction behind, I basically left my whole life behind. I walked away from my house, my job, my mortgage, and because I knew that I had to make that choice if I was going to live. And but that didn't take away the scariness factor of it, and knowing that that's how I escaped. Like, it's literally like an escape mechanism for the everyday life and the everyday stresses of having to pay a mortgage and the mundaneness of life. So it can be very scary to leave that behind. But I wanted to counteract that a little bit for you and talk to you about some of the benefits of going to treatment. So when you go off to treatment, going through the withdrawal and finding those coping mechanisms can be very scary. That finding a new way of having to change everything about what you do to learn to cope in a new way. But I can assure you that going off to treatment, you'll have 24-hour a day support. So you'll have support workers there. You'll have medical care. That's doctors or nurses, depending on the treatment center. But all of them will have 24-hour access to medical care. So you'll likely go to detox and then go into treatment, but you'll have that 24/7 support in the way of support workers and also a medical team. So you literally don't have to do this alone. You'll always have somebody there that you can go to. If you wake up in the middle of the night just feeling panicked about, I want to go get my fix, I want to go get that drink, I want to get my drug of choice, you have somebody there that can support you through that and talk you off that ledge. It's a very structured environment, and that can be very important for a lot of people early in recovery, knowing exactly what to expect. So you go to a treatment center and you'll get your schedule of programming. They'll have your complete day mapped out for you. So there's no questions about what's going to happen when. You know when you're getting breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know when you have to go to your one-on-one counseling. You know when you have to go to yoga or whatever physical activity it is. You get your schedule for the week. It's a safe, supportive environment. So the people that work there, the doctors, the nurses, the psychologists, the psychiatrists, the support workers, all these people, they are there to cheer you on. And I've worked in treatment centers, and I can say as a matter of fact that every person that I saw come through that door, there was zero judgment for who they were before they walked into that door. And every person that came through that door, I wanted nothing more for them than to see them live their best life. So I can guarantee you that the people working at that treatment center want nothing more for you than to live sober, safe, happy, to your full potential. That's what they're there for, and they really truly want that for you. You'll be able to start to set some goals and build some new habits because, like I said, you're giving up your old coping mechanism that worked for you every time until you started having all these really negative consequences. So you'll spend those 6 weeks, 90 days, whatever your program length is, starting to build new habits and new ways of doing things so that you don't have to go back to so that you don't have to go back to drinking or using to escape your life and to escape potential mental health disorders, past trauma, past family of origin issues. There's the focus on health. So you're going to get fed well, you're going to be doing exercise, you're going to be doing all this stuff to start to focus on doing things in a physically healthy way instead of basically self-destructing with your physical health by drinking or using substances to basically destroy your body and your mind and your mental health. So you'll focus a lot on mental health. You'll be talking to psychologists and the clinical team and working through some of your past traumas, some of your mental health concerns, and really starting to build those coping mechanisms so that you can deal with those things in a mentally and emotionally and spiritually functional and healthy way. So there is that really health conscious aspect to it. You'll get ongoing support, so you'll have support during the whole time you're at treatment. And most treatment centers that I work with have an aftercare program. So it's not like, after your 60, 90 days or whatever you're there for, you're out of here, have a nice life. They will set you up with an aftercare program. So they'll help you get a sponsor. They'll help you, look where you're going to live, get housing if you need it, getting counselors, getting coaches, getting the things that you need to do to continue to be successful. Because what's the point of having a 90-day program if you've got nothing to support you after? So they will work with you on setting up an aftercare program so you can continue to be successful when you leave that treatment bubble and go back out into the real world. So that's one thing that they're really adamant on, is getting that aftercare program and having people that you can check in with, be accountable to, get support from, get loved on from. And just learning to find those coping mechanisms and overcoming addiction is really the main benefit of treatment. And getting that new structure, learning even just basic life skills of being able to follow that schedule, making your bed, keeping your room clean, things like that we forget how to do in addiction. So I get it. It's super, super, super scary to go to treatment. I get it. I've lived it. But the benefits of going to treatment are absolutely huge. And I know that if you're looking for a treatment center, oh my God, in Canada alone, there's like 1,000 treatment centers out there. So trying to find the right one for you it can be so overwhelming. I mean, especially at a time if you're in that state of addiction, with the brain fog and everything else that goes on with addiction, trying to find the right treatment center can be absolutely just a gong show in and of itself. So part of what I do is I help connect people who are struggling in active addiction. I also work with their family members if the family members are trying to help them out. I look at what they need, what their mental health concerns are, what their past traumas are, what their drug of choice is, medical conditions, what their specific needs are, and really I will narrow down that 1,000 treatment centers in Canada to 2 or 3 that you and or your family can pick from. That'll be a good choice, and not just a good choice, but also within your budget, because I'm sure many of you know tens of thousands of dollars a month for treatment at some places, which it's great if you can afford it, but if you can't, I also work on your budget. What's your budget for treatment? So, and do you have benefits, EI, disability, income assistance, whatever happens to be, whatever your budget is, I can work on finding treatment centers to fit within your budget. So if you are in that position where you're really struggling to find a treatment center for yourself or someone you love, I hope you'll reach out. You can send me a DM. You can also check out the link in the caption below. You can fill out the application form, and basically the application form just helps me to get to know you a little bit better before we talk on the phone. We'll talk, I'll get to know you, I'll get to know your goals, what you're looking for in treatment. I'll go out and find those treatment centers, and then I'll come back to you with that report on which ones I think will work best for you, and then you can make that final decision to start your life over. So absolutely contact me. I want to work with you. I want to make sure that you're living your best life and being successful. So please reach out. I know it's scary. I know it's a scary thing to do, but please reach out. I'm here to support you and love you through the process. Thanks for tuning in.